So, welcome to Mindful Yoga this morning. We are going to be doing a full body practice, gentle stretches for the most part, and we're going to open the heart, we're going to do a little bit of hip work, we're going to open laterally, and just sort of feel good all over. So, we're going to start with a little bit of a semi restorative pose. So we're going to take a blanket instead of using a bolster, although if you have a bolster and you'd rather use that, you can. But I think the blanket for our purposes today is just about right. So we're going to take a blanket and we're just going to roll it up into a nice tight little blanket roll. And then we will lay down, bringing that underneath the upper back. And I'm going to start a little bit of music to set the mood. So once you have that rolled up, just go ahead and lay right down. And we're going to have a little meditation to begin. So this holiday weekend brings usually a lot of extra activity for us, and sometimes family coming in, and even happy plans can create a little bit of stress at times. Not really sad or fearful stress, but it just creates an extra layer of concerns in our mind. So I think it's really nice to use our yoga practice to help take a step back, to regroup, and to find some grounding energy for the days ahead. So starting out here in restorative Matsyasana, or restorative fish pose. First, just make sure that you're comfortable, that your shoulders are sliding off the back of the blanket roll, that your back feels happy, that you don't need any other supports. Your arms can be wherever they are most comfortable, either out in a T, maybe lying on your belly. Just make sure that you're comfy here in these first few seconds. Our meditation, I'd like you to first listen to your heart. Listen to the sound of your heart beating. Get in touch with the rhythm, maybe the vibration that your body is creating all by itself. Next, we'll bring our mindful attention to the breath. Sound of the breath gently passing through the nasal area. Breathing. Just a gentle sound of the air passing through. And see if you can bring your full attention to simply the sounds of your own body. beyond the body with this meditation, and I'd like to see if you can bring awareness to any sounds that are occurring in the room around you. Not worrying about what they are or whether they're bothersome, or just letting all of that go, letting all the description and judgment go, and just listen and pay attention to those sounds. And we're going to take our awareness out beyond the scope of the room that you are in. And you're going to see if you can notice any sounds in the distance, even though they may be faint, even though you may barely be able to hear them or become aware of them. There is activity out in the world, whether it's traffic, or the birds chirping, or the wind blowing, or maybe someone mowing their lawn. And just bring your awareness out to that world simply by listening to the sounds. Finally, bring your awareness back to your inner self, back to your breath and your heart. And notice if you have a feeling of deeper connection with the world around you, a sense of oneness, a sense of existing in the present moment. Take a deeper breath in through your nose. Bring your arms around your body. Give yourself a little hug around your chest. Let that breath out. Open your eyes. And let's roll off of the blanket roll and come all the way down. Right. Just take a breath here in a nice flat position, letting your back drop down toward the mat. Deep breath in, grounding breath out. Let's bring your knees up, bend your knees and bring your feet up to a hip distance apart. And then widen your feet to the outer edges of your mat and drop both knees over to the left. Gently turn your right ear toward its shoulder, let it drop down. Nice, deep, soft breaths, relaxing your hips, pelvis, shoulders. Breathing in to connect, breathing out to ground. One more here. Bring those knees back up to center, lift your face to center, and turn the other way. Dropping your left ear toward its shoulder, knees to the right. Make your breath soft and long. Bringing in the beautiful life energy known as pranayama. Bring everything back up to center. Let's extend the left leg down the mat. We're going to bring the right knee into the chest. Extend your right leg up and hold behind your thigh. Point your right toes, flex your foot. Point and flex, point and flex, and then circle the ankle. Sweet circles. And then turn those circles the other way. Draw your knee back down to your chest. Take hold of your right foot with your left hand and bring that foot to the hip crease of your left leg or your thigh. And just let your right knee drop forward. Gently letting it drop. Not going to pain, but simply to a nice deep engagement in that right hip as you internally rotate the leg. Inhale, bring the knee back up to center. Take your left hand to the outside of the right thigh and draw your right knee over the body to the left. Stretch now, coming into the right gluteal muscles, maybe into the lower back. Deep breath in, exhale and ground. Roll back to center, extend your right leg down the mat. Draw your left knee in and raise the foot to the ceiling. Point your left toes. Flex your foot. Point your toes, flex your foot, point and flex, and then circle that foot around. Circle the other way. Keep breathing to anchor you. And then bend your knee. Take your right hand to your left foot. Draw it up or close to the hip crease on the right leg. And then gently allow the left knee to slowly drop forward. Really gentle and slow. It can go down as far as you feel comfortable. If it starts to tweak or starts to pinch or hurt, please back off. Inhaling, exhaling. Bring the knee back up to center. Right hand to the outside of the left knee, draws it across the body, and we get our second stretch on the left hip and glute. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale, roll back to center. Draw both of your knees into your chest. Rock your hips back and forth. Give yourself a little massage on the lower back. Just find whatever feels good here. All right, and then what we're going to do is roll up. And before we come all the way up, we're going to come to I guess we call this a lounging position. We're just going to do a couple little strengthening stretches for the legs. So we're going to come up on our forearms and elbows. I want you to make sure you're lifting up through your chest. So we're pressing forward, pressing the shoulders back and lifting the heart. Doesn't need to be extreme. I just don't want you to collapse into the back, the upper back. So we're lifting up steady. Point your toes, at least on the right side, and we're going to lift as we point and inhale. And we're going to flex as we lower. And you're going to hover above the mat rather than tapping it down. So inhale, point and lift. Exhale, flex and lower. Keep that going. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Hover, 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 and release. All right, other side. Point the left toes. Inhale and lift. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Keep that going. Make sure that you're still supporting your upper body, pressing down with your elbows, shoulders pressing back. And one more time. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale, flex and hover, 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 and release. All right, come all the way up. And let's come to tabletop position, hands and knees. All right, hands and knees position. Alignment with the energy coming directly up through the wrists, elbows, and into the shoulders. Plug your hands in. Use that Hasta Bandha, hand to earth connection, to feel the energy coming up through the upper body and supporting and stabilizing you. Knees and hips should be nicely lined up so you've created a square box. Come into cow tilt, let your belly drop down, heart reaches forward, and then exhale into a sweet cat stretch, pressing up through the upper back, keeping your pressure down through the mat. Chin is coming to chest. Inhale into cow. Exhale to cat. 3 more times like that. And then come back to a neutral spine. All right, we're going to walk the knees back a little bit. So keep your hands plugged in where they were, walk the knees back. If you can, keep the hips still one on top of the knees so you can see my knee and hip connection is still aligned. From here, we're going to bring the left forearm down, elbow underneath the shoulder. Right hand is going to slide forward as we come to half Anahatasana, or melting heart. You're going to let your head come all the way down, if that feels appropriate, on your left forearm. And you're going to reach and stretch all the way from your right fingers down to your right hip. Let your heart melt down. Just let gravity draw it further downward. Beautiful stretch under the right armpit. Keeps those rotator cuffs muscles nice and healthy to get them stimulated and stretched. All right, slide the right hand back, help yourself back up, and we'll try that on the other side. So this time, right elbow comes down underneath the shoulder, and we'll just take that left hand, walk the fingers forward, forward, pull yourself forward and down, and stretch the left side. If you're doing this right, you should feel a stretch from the longest finger on your left side all the way back to your right, your left hip. Deep breath in, awareness, groundedness. All right, inhale, lift your head up, bring your left hand back, and you can walk your knees back up underneath. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and curl the toes and lift those knees off the mat. Hover for just a moment. Take a second to really check in with your abs, check in with your core body. And even in this position, see if you can hold that core and then let the core push you up and back into downward facing dog. And our first downward dog of the day, go ahead and let's pedal the feet a little bit, walk the dog, bending one knee at a time. Second to drop in. Feel how good that stretch helps lengthen the spine. Deep breath in, and let's let it out through the mouth. Very nice. Walking the feet forward toward the front of the mat. Come to forward fold, Uttanasana. Forward folding position, keep your knees a little bit soft since we haven't done a lot of stretches to the hamstring. And just let your body sway from side to side again. Just kind of really taking time to enjoy every aspect of our practice, not just the big fancy stuff. Come to stillness, come to the center. And then we're going to gently come all the way up. Arms are going to reach overhead. I just need to pull this hair into place so I can see. Arms reaching up. Interlace your fingers and then turn your palms up to the ceiling. So flipping your hands so that your palms are facing upward. Take a little crescent stretch over to the right. Roll that left shoulder back and gently look up toward the ceiling. One more breath. Inhale, come to center, and then take that stretch over to the left. Gently look up toward the ceiling under your left or your right armpit. Inhale, bring both to center. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, coming up halfway, nice flat back. Lengthen through your spine. And then hinging from your hip crease, fold once again. Remember, hands can come to blocks anytime we're forward folding. And then we're going to step back once again to downward facing dog. Moving through a really gentle little sun salutation here. Going to come up to plank and then drop the knees down, lower to the belly. Once you're down on your belly, take your next inhale by lifting up. Come into just a little baby cobra maybe. Don't even have to come up very far, just feel your heart lifting. And then exhale down. Inhaling, we're going to press ourselves back up into downward facing dog once again. Bring your right foot forward between your hands, low runner's lunge. Lengthen through your spine, crown of the head is reaching forward. And then bring your left foot forward next to the right, forward fold. Deep inhale brings you halfway up, pressing your shoulders back and lengthening. Exhale, fold forward once again. Inhale, reach all the way up. Hands come forward, up, overhead. And exhale once again, swan dive back into a forward fold. Again, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Step back one more time, downward facing dog. Full breath here. Exhale. Come forward to plank. Drop your knees, lower down. Next breath in, presses you up for cobra. Next breath out brings you right back down. Next breath in pulls you up, presses you up, and then back as you exhale to downward facing dog. This time we'll take one full breath here. And then your next inhalation will bring the left foot forward. Low runner's lunge. Nice long lines. Strength through the core, through the pelvic region. And then right foot comes next to the left. Once again, we forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift those arms overhead. And exhale, bring hands to heart. Take a breath into Tadasana. Inhale to be present. And exhale to ground. All right, we're going to open our arms next. Bring them to a cactus arm formation. You're going to inhale, open them a little bit wider, lift the heart, and then we're going to exhale, round to the back, bring the forearms together, and we're going to fold forward. You can bend your knees if you want. We're not going all the way down, but we're going to round the back as we come back up, and then inhale as we open them wide. So it's just a nice little curving action with the upper back, rounding, coming forward. Inhale, carrying you up and opening one more time. Let's do that one more time through. And inhale, bring it up. Beautiful. All right, bring your hands by your side, then interlace the fingers behind. Root down through your feet. Feet are hip distance apart. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your heart up, chin is slightly lifted, and we're pressing those knuckles down toward the earth. Deep breath in and out. Next breath in. Next breath out, we come to a flat back, just halfway down. Lengthening once again from crown to tailbone. And you can lift your fingers off the back of your back, press them toward the back of your mat. Keep pressing, keep squeezing. Deep breath in, and then let it out, come all the way up, release your hands, arms come up and overhead, and exhale, forward fold position. From your forward fold, I'd like you to take your blocks, place your hands on the tallest side of your block, and start to bend your knees. Bend them down. We're coming to a toe balance. So I want you to come up on the balls of your feet. Keep your balance with your blocks to start. See if you can think about your body creating a plumb line directly through the center. Your tailbone is lengthening down, so make sure it's not sticking out, but rather it's lengthening down. Create space by lifting up through the crown of the head. Once you feel that you have your core center in place and that energy is directed toward the center, see if you can let go of the blocks, bring your hands to heart. Take a breath. One more. And then you can bring your hands back down to the blocks. We're going to sit right back. So just help yourself back to sitting and bring your knees out in front. We're going to lift first one leg, bringing your shin parallel to the mat, and you can hold that leg up with your hand behind the thigh. And then we're going to bring the other leg, if you can, the same way. Feet are flexed. Keep lifting up. Make sure you're not rounding forward or going back too far. Use your core. This is half boat. Ardha Navasana. Relax your shoulders. Take one more breath. Little isometrics for the core. And then gently tap your feet down in front. Bring your feet together, widen your knees, and we're going to fold forward into Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet are together like the pages of a book. And just relax into this. Do whatever feels good for you. Let your lower back stretch out. Relax through the hips. 2 more breaths here. All right, come on up. Come back to your seated position and roll all the way back. Lifting your legs up, feet are going to come up to the ceiling. Your hands are going to slide up the sides of your legs. Bend your knees, coming to Ananda Balasana, happy baby. If you can reach your feet, that's great. If you can reach only your shins, that's fine too. Just widen your knees. Your knees are reaching down towards your armpits. Your back is grounded and pressing down into the mat. Deep breath here. Rock back and forth if you like. One of my favorite positions of all time. All right. And bring those feet together. Bring your hands behind your thighs. We're going to get a little momentum going here, if this works for you. If you can roll up with some momentum, come back to your seated position. And then we're going to simply come forward again, lift ourselves up and find ourselves in forward fold. Always bring your blocks back if you need for forward folding. Let's flow up one more time. Just keep a nice little stretch for the full body, lifting arms overhead. Deep breath at the top of that inhalation and then forward fold once again. Step back with the left foot, coming right back into the low runner's lunge. Low runner's lunge, nice and strong. Take your right hand, reach that arm forward, fingers reaching as far away from your left toes as possible. And then lift that right arm up, come to a lunging twist. Exhale, bring the arm forward once again. And then bring it down. We're going to lower the left knee directly down. Uncurl the toes, or you can keep them curled if that works better for you. And then we're going to lift up to Anjaneyasana, low crescent. Reaching north and south as far as we can. Tailbone directed down. Nice control of the pelvis and the lower abs to keep you stable. More breath here. Nice stretch for that left hip flexor. Ooh, always feel that one. And then we're going to bring the hands back down to the front of the mat. Lift the left knee back up. And we're going to hop that left foot forward about 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches. Bring your blocks back into play once again if you didn't before. Straighten your right knee. So here we're set up into pyramid pose. Nice long straight line with the back, reaching forward with the head. I'd like you to press your right hip back, bring the left hip forward. So we all kind of want to do this, where we're actually facing diagonal. So we really want to square the hips by making that conscious effort to push the right hip back. Sometimes it helps to widen the feet a little bit to help facilitate that. So take a breath here in pyramid. Just feel this pose. Feel the equanimity of the body as each part of the body is balanced and stable. All right, from pyramid or Parsvottanasana, we're going to take this right block. You're going to keep your hand on the right block, and we'll bring the left hand to the waist. Start to move your belly to the left, lifting the heart all the way up. Once you've reached the extent of your twist here, your lift, bring the left hand up, and we'll find ourselves in triangle, Trikonasana. Nice breath, finding presence and grounding. And just for a little variation, if you want to try Utthita Trikonasana, you can bring the arm over the ear for extended triangle. All right, bring that left arm back up if you had it extended. Rotate the heart right back down to where we started in pyramid. Make sure that you make that correction with the hips. So right hip back, left hip forward. All right, so now we're going to take the right hand to the waist, moving into revolved triangle. So we want to reach and lengthen through the spine first. Try to get as much space as possible through the spine, and then just start to turn the heart to the right. You may not go all the way up, you may just go a little ways, that's okay. And when you found your full extent of your rotation, then you can lift the right arm up. Beautiful. One more breath. Keep pressing the right hip back. And bring that hand down. All right. We're going to take the hands off the blocks, bend your right knee so you can come down, and then press yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Lower the knees and press back to child's pose. 3 full breaths here. Deeply inhabiting your breath. Staying mindful. Staying present with exactly what you're experiencing right now. Slowly come on forward. Put your hands down. Lift yourself up. Press back. Downward facing dog. Walk the feet up to the front. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Slowly rise. Come all the way up little by little. Upward facing hands. And then exhale once again, forward fold. Step back with your right foot this time. Nice runner's lunge, nice and strong. Long stretch with your head forward. And this time we're going to reach the left hand forward, fingers reaching as far away from your right toes as they can. And then we're just going to bring that left hand straight up, twisting the body into a lunging twist. Exhale, bring it back forward again. And bring the hand down. Lower your right knee. Decide if you want to uncurl the toes or you can leave them up, either way. And then lift up, Anjaneyasana. Heart is open. Core is stabilized. So always think about the energy being pulled into the center line of your body. One more breath. And then bring your hands right back down to the mat. We're going to use those blocks again if you weren't already. Lift up to low lunge and then hop your right foot forward and perhaps a little bit to the right. So we come into what I call train tracks instead of a tight wire. So come right into Parsvottanasana pyramid pose on this side now. Lengthen. this time, what are we going to do? Push the left hip back and right hip comes forward. If that means you have to widen your stance, that's fine. Beautiful breath. All right, from pyramid, we'll go to first to triangle. Left hand is going to come on that left block. Right hand comes to the waist. Rotate your heart to the right. When you've come into your full rotation, then you can lift up your right hand. So my right fingers, there's a line going directly from my right fingers right down to my left palm. Keep stretching and lengthening forward and pressing the right hip back. One more breath. Unwind the right hand. We're going to come back into pyramid for a breath. So realign your body, square to the front. And then we'll transition into revolve triangle. This time, right hand is on the block. Left hand comes to the waist. Now before we start to twist, really lengthen forward and press that left hip back. So we're drawing the heart and the upper body forward. Then start your rotation, turning the heart to the left with hand at the waist, and then eventually lifting the arm. Deep breath in, find your presence. Breath out. You are grounded. Unwind your left hand, bring it right back down to the block. You can bend your left knee, slide it back, come into a nice long stretchy downward dog. Inhale, roll forward to a plank, and then drop your knees, press back, child's pose. 3 full breaths here. Yourself up, come back to all fours, swing your legs around, extend your legs down the mat. Ground it down into your sits bones, lift up through the body, hands are gently by the side, heart is nice and open, collarbones are wide. Take a breath here in Dandasana or staff pose. One more breath. All right, release the hands from the side. We're going to take the left foot into the inner right thigh. So you're just going to guide it up above the knee. Let your left knee drop out to the left. Once again, ground down. Feel those sits bones pressing into the mat. Let's draw the hands up and overhead, and then as you're ready, fold forward with a flat back and reach toward your foot, ankle, or shin. Just come down to the extent that is appropriate for you, where you feel the edge of the stretch. That deep engagement that lets you know that you're getting a nice stretch, but it's not incurring any pain or even discomfort. Keep softening. With each breath, you may find a little more space. And then inhale, forehead up, slide it all the way back. Lengthen, bring your left foot out, and we'll do the same on the right side. So we're just going to help that right foot into the inner left thigh. Externally rotate your right hip down, and energy up, pressing down through the sits bones. Nice breath up and in. And then fold forward once again, Janusirsasana. Little by little. Really develop this relationship with your breath, where your breath will lead the way. If your breath is open and giving, then you can give yourself permission to move into more space. If the breath is short and holding back, and pay attention and move forward with caution. Inhale, slide your hands up. Come back to your seated position. Swing the legs around. We're going to come into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Actually, we're not going to fold forward just yet. We're going to do a side stretch. So take the right hand to the right shin. Left arm reaches up and then bring it over the ear. Turn your heart up toward the ceiling and fold. Your legs are active in this stretch. Ribs are opening up. Just think of how extra space you're creating for your lungs. Breathing in. And we'll bring up and we'll try the other side. Right arm reaches up this time. Extend and then fold over the ear. Come up. Now we're going to fold forward. Hands are going to come in front and we're simply going to let them come down. Could be just a few inches. Don't go too far that you'll overstretch through the groin. Just gently let your body come forward and down. Legs are still active here, so this is really an active stretch through the legs. Gently press yourself back up. And we have one more option before we go all the way down. We're going to come back to that bathing beauty position that we were in before when we did the leg lifts. All right, so we started with a supported, more of a restorative version of Matsyasana. We're going to try for the active version before we go all the way down today. So pressing down with your hands on either side of your hips, all right? Use those hands for support and telegraphing the energy to come up through the heart. So first, just lift your heart and breastbone. Think about your breastbone being pulled up to the ceiling. And if this is all the further you need to go, then by all means stay right here. Lengthen through your neck. Heart and breastbone are lifted. Now, if you want to go back further, you would start to extend the upper back into your back bend. But you keep pressing up through that heart, so we don't want to collapse through the shoulders. Sometimes your hands have to come a little bit forward to make this work. And either your head comes all the way down, or you may find yourself somewhere in the middle. Deep breath here, opening up everything in the neck, shoulders, and bring your head back up to center. If you had it tilted, now you can lay all the way down. Just let it all relax. Beautiful breath here. Release and relax. We're going to bend our knees at this point. We're going to lift first one foot and then the other. So legs are now extended straight up. See if you can get them in a position where they're not too far towards your head, but maybe they're not pulling forward. They're just right where you have the equilibrium of the heels directly above your hips. That way gravity is pulling everything down straight in a straight line. So once you have them in position, now see if you can relax your legs. Now you have to hold them in place, but essentially your core is doing work in your hip flexors. See if you can relax your feet, maybe your shins and calves. Relax your knees. Maybe even soften your quadriceps. Hold that in place, and we'll take 3 or 4 breaths in waterfall pose. Tap your toes down. Go ahead and extend your legs all the way down the mat. Let's just let everything go. It's time to come back to some mindfulness. After the stretches, and I always think it's nice to just bring some awareness to the shift you feel, not just in your body, but in your emotional state. Do you feel a little lighter? Do you feel a little more at ease? You feel more connected to your own mind and your own spirit. Just drop into that connection as we take the next few minutes in Shavasana. awareness back to your physical body on the mat. Drawing an intentional breath in, filling your lungs. Let it sit there for just a moment, invigorating you with new-found energy. And then let it out. Bend your knees, draw them into the chest. Hug your knees into your chest. Make some little circles with the knees, massage the sacrum. And changing direction. Anytime you're ready, help yourself by rolling to one side. Come back up to your mat. Once there, in Sukhasana, we'll close practice by lifting the arms up. Reach them overhead. Connect your palms. Deep connection of breath in. Exhale. Bring everything down to the heart. Light in me is honored and grateful for the light within you. Thank you so much for practicing this day. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you.